Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us here this afternoon. My name is Tavis Hall. I'm the chairman of the Board of Supervisors this year. And on behalf of the board, we'll hear from all of us. Thanks for joining us. It's really an exciting day. This is the culmination of, not the culmination, this is the start of the next step. But it's been a lot of work to get to this point. We've had input from staff, from county leadership, from community members. We've totaled 1,900, should I get this right? 1,973 collective hours that we've poured into strategic planning to this point. And this is certainly a different type of plan, but we're excited about what we've put together. For a little framework, a little context, the last time Blackhawk County updated or went through a full strategic plan process was 2013. You can imagine how life has changed since 2013. While we've got an incredible batch of talent in terms of our staff, we've got a strong sense of community spirit and important resources to invest, the strengths weren't necessarily coordinated or maximized. And so through this process, I'm really excited about aligning our vision for where we know that the county needs to go towards making sure that we're charting a successful path forward. So I'm going to start off, like I said, we're all going to talk a little bit about what the process has been, what the vision, the mission of the organization of county, as well as some of our priorities. First, I'm going to kick it over to my colleague and Vice Chair, Linda Lehman.
Well, welcome and thank you again for attending our strategic plan rollout. As Tavis started to mention, all of the comments I was going to bring you up to date on as far as being having the first plan in 2008 and then revisiting in 2013. And at that time, we worked with IDM, University of Northern Iowa's IDM, Institute for Decision Making, and they helped us create a vision statement for the county and the strategic plan. And it was 2023, like he said, we had a unanimous decision from the Board of Supervisors for strategic planning. And last fall, we contracted with Ted Garnett, a consultant in Cedar Rapids, to help us facilitate. And we took a slightly different approach that involved the board, other county elected officials, department heads, and we also enlarged the group to include frontline managers this time. So for 9 months, this group of about 30 people met every Tuesday afternoon from 1 to 4:30. You'll see in our presentation, we developed a mission statement. We selected 7 core values to be used in all decision making. And as a group, we identified 12 priority areas to be worked on as teams over the next 3 years. To gather input throughout the process from both the community and the staff, we used an all-staff survey. We had departmental meetings, and we also held internal and external focus groups. While we intend to eventually include all employees in this training, and right now that's about 420 employees, the group of 30 always kept in mind during those 9 months that we were representing those not present. And it was important to us because as we kicked this off, to recognize all the other employees that weren't in the process and being involved in, but that we were going to be enlisting and enrolling their help and participation. As this diagram demonstrates, the future becomes less certain the further out we look. The takeaway for us was to build a plan for 3 years, but to remain flexible and ready to adapt as many things are beyond our control. An example that was shared with us several times was that Lynn County had developed their mission statement, their priority areas, and then in 2020, along came the derecho, and everything changed for them immediately. Their plan and priority changed to recovery from the derecho. So showing us how important it is to be able to turn immediately and adapt and work forward. Our 3-year plan provides a clear framework to guide decision-making, services, and investments. Developed with input from staff, community leaders, and residents, it reflects a shared vision and our priorities for the future of Blackhawk County. And now Rich is going to speak on our mission.
As Linda stated, our previous mission statement was very long. and not well known or utilized across the county. We were taught that that was known as SPOTS, a strategic plan on the top shelf. A mission statement needs to show what makes our county special, what makes us different from other Iowa counties. It should also be aspirational as well as inspirational. It should be what we hope to accomplish. Lastly, the mission statement should be measurable. How will we know if we ever reached our mission? Here is the new mission statement for Blackhawk County. Cultivating a diverse community that embraces our unique assets, positioning our county as a thriving center for all to live, work, and succeed. We were surprised and pleased that the mission statement has resonated so well with our focus groups and with our internal rollout with staff. We received a lot of positive feedback internally and externally in this mission, in the wording we chose, in the hope it shows for our future. Chris will now share more about our values for Blackhawk County.
Thank you everyone for being here today. For today's purposes and for the purposes of the strategic plan, I'm going to share this definition with you of what our core values definition is. And this is the organization's fundamental beliefs regarding interactions with customers, internal and external, and stakeholders. The collective statements act as a set of guiding principles or values. All decisions within Blackhawk County must flow through our values. And it's through following our values that we become successful in reaching our mission. Of course, everyone has values and ideals, and Blackhawk County is no different. Our values are often what is most important to us and the lens through which we make decisions. Going forward, all decisions at Blackhawk County will be made through the following values. All right, the first value identified was collaboration. This is an area that Blackhawk County already excels at. We have so many collaborations that have gone on for so long that they almost get taken for granted. We forget that we're in these partnerships like the Consolidated Communications or our community partners, some that I see today. The many partnerships the public health and the VA and conservation have, whether it's with other agencies or whether it's with other governments. But there's always room to do more and always room to collaborate. Service is a fundamental value. Of course, in many aspects, we are a customer service agency, but unlike private industry, people don't have the option to go elsewhere. People have to get their services through us. There's only one treasurer to go to. There's only one auditor to go to, only one recorder. And so we strive to make sure that these services are done with a customer service orientation and mindset. Innovation is a critical value of ours, something that we value at Blackhawk County always, but something that we can do more of, and that comes through whether it's continuing education, whether it's supporting our staff and empowering them to make the best decisions and learn from others and what's happening. Innovation will always be a path forward for us, as well as efficiency. We want to make sure that we're not spinning our wheels, we're accomplishing things. We're being good stewards of our time, which is ultimately good stewards of the community's money. Accountability is a core value, and that's whether we're talking about accountability on the Board of Supervisors or amongst our other elected officials and department heads, but also accountability within your small working teams and within your department. No matter what level you're at in serving Blackhawk County, accountability is going to be key. Along with that is transparency, making sure that the public understands how decisions are made, making sure that colleagues understand, making sure that employees across all departments understand when and how and why a decision was made, and how we get about that. And the last value is our financial responsibility. We're lucky to be one of the strongest positioned counties in Blackhawk County, and that happened through years of strong financial responsibility. But we live in very trying times, uncertainty about federal funding, uncertainty about state programs, and so fiscal responsibility is going to be a key value. And it's when we make our decisions through all these values that we laid out and agreed upon that we reach our mission and we'll be successful in the things that Justin's going to talk about. And so I will now pass things over to Justin.
For those who don't know me, I'm Justin Brandt, one of the newly elected members of the board here. So I'm going to talk about just, how we're going to achieve the mission in terms of resource allocation. Imagine a pie, that would occupy 100% of something, and so you've only got so much time and so much resources that we can allocate to some of these priorities that we've identified. So we, over the course of 8 months, put together, brainstormed in this room all the things that we thought were of importance that we needed to attack to make Blackhawk County a better place to be. Some of those things are listed. I think you guys have a card maybe with the top 12 priorities on those. Those are what we're going to focus on over the next several years. Over the next 3 years, we're going to have the top 4 priorities marked out. And so I'll go over those real quickly. So supporting mental health needs. I think everybody in this room is probably aware of how severe the crisis is that we're dealing with out there right now. What that looks like, we don't know just yet, but that's what we're developing right now as a plan on how we're going to attack that and make that better. Professional development and training, instilling a culture of accountability within Blackhawk County as an employment agency. Giving our employees the tools and training and equipment that they need to do their jobs as efficiently as possible. And making sure that us as elected officials, as well as employees, are accountable for our actions and making sure that we're as responsible as possible. Supporting economic development and improving the safety and security of our public facilities. So think of the Pinecrest building, the courthouse, etc. Assessing that and figuring out what could be better. So those are going to be our top 4 over the next 3 years that we're going to allocate. Our staff will allocate 5%. I apologize, because I skipped over a couple of things here, but we've got 5% of resources that we can allocate towards strategic planning, and then the 95%. We have to maintain the service quality as it is. And so we have to make sure that we've got our people still performing the jobs as they have been. And then we're setting time aside so we can work on that 5% towards strategic objectives. Number 5, employee engagement, work-life balance. Number 6, seeking revenue opportunities. Number 7, optimizing operational efficiencies of the criminal justice system. Number 8, strategic reserves plan. Number 9, community and business partnerships. Number 10, engagement and connection and community, and particularly with our board members attending more public events. Number 11, public outreach, access to programs and services. And number 12, environmental resiliency. So that's the list of the top 12. Again, we came up with a list of over 100, maybe upwards of 120, and just through narrowing things down through process of elimination, that's what we came up with for the top 12. So it wasn't, if you don't see something that's on here that you thought might be more important, doesn't mean it wasn't thought of or not. It's not something that we're going to get later. It didn't make the top 12. So now we get to work and put the plan into motion. I'm gonna hand it off to Tavis to finish this off here.
So, as you might have picked up, this is a little different of a strategic plan than you might be used to. It's not the typical, roadmap with every destination precisely marked. It is deliberately not a rigid checklist. Life, as you know, community needs, as you know, are ever evolving. And instead, this plan provides a flexible framework aimed at addressing complex systemic challenges, empowering the engaged, which we hope to be all of you, to define progress on tactics aimed at achieving our collective goals. Because of that uniqueness, the next steps, the actualization of the plan, are just as important as the priorities themselves. And that's where we hope to engage all of you. Over the coming months, each department will begin to align their capacities with the priorities outlined today. This isn't about overhauling what already works. Black Hawk County is known for delivering solid, dependable services, but rather we're intentionally layering focused strategy on top of our daily excellence to ensure that we're moving forward, working to address the needs of our community, and delivering top-notch government services along the way. So to keep this plan moving, we've assigned dedicated leaders throughout county staff to champion our top priorities. I want to call them out, they're all here. Caitlin Emmerich, our Public Health Director, is going to be leading our efforts to support mental health, the mental health needs of our community. Amanda Fesenmeyer, who's our Human Resources Director, which every time, for whatever reason, I kept saying human rights in my head, the Human Resources Director, is going to be working on strengthening professional development and training while fostering that culture of accountability. Kathy Nicholas, there we go. Our county engineer will be running point on support for economic development, and then Brad Metcalf, right in front of me. Our county safety coordinator will be focusing on improving the safety and security of county facilities and systems. These champions are going to help ensure that our priorities, that hopefully all of you will help solidify, stay intentional, stay actionable, and stay measurable as they become a part of our everyday work. Our priorities are staggered, as we mentioned, over the next 3 years, with a goal of moving priorities from strategic initiatives to operational structure. Basically, we want to cook strategy into the DNA of Black Hawk County. While our work has staff assignments, this plan, by its nature, when successful, belongs to the entire county. Whether you work in a cornfield or a cubicle, whether you live on a gravel road or a tree-lined boulevard, whether you take a shower before work or after work, this plan belongs to you. This plan is not successful unless you are engaged, unless we are all engaged. And making sure that this plan has your voice and contribution. So the next steps is hopefully clear that we have to get to work, and hopefully we will do that together. We dedicated leadership, ongoing community engagement, and a shared commitment to accountability. We will ensure that Black Hawk County lives up to its mission, cultivating a diverse community that embraces our unique assets and positions our county as a thriving center for all to live, work, and succeed. Thank you.